Lovely viewers, grab a comfortable spot because what we're about to dive into will leave you absolutely speechless. Imagine scrolling through your feed and suddenly seeing the name Song Joong Ki trending everywhere with a headline that says, "I can't stop loving you." And guess who the message was meant for? Yes, none other than Song Hye Kyo. This confession is setting the entire internet on fire, and fans cannot keep calm. Feels like a K-drama plot, but this time it's real life. So let's break it down together in the most engaging way because I know you're itching to know every single detail. It all started when Joong Ki surprised everyone during a recent fan meet. He was asked a casual question about what love means to him, and guess what he said? With the sweetest but most emotional tone, he looked at the crowd and whispered, "I can't stop loving you no matter what happens." Instantly, the audience froze. But what made fans' jaws drop was the moment he smiled slightly and added, "Some people will always have a place in your heart forever." Lovely viewers, who else could that be about if not Hye Kyo? The way he said it, the raw emotion, the subtle tremor in his voice, it was like his heart was speaking, not his mind. Now this is where things get super interesting. Within minutes, social media exploded. Hashtags like #JoongKiConfession and #I can't stop loving you started trending worldwide. Fans began analyzing every frame of the event. Some even slowed down the video to see if his eyes gave away more than his words. And guess what? Many claim they saw tears welling up in his eyes. Can you imagine how powerful that moment was? He wasn't acting. That was real, raw, unfiltered emotion. But here's the twist. Song Hye Kyo reportedly found out about this confession too. Sources close to her revealed that she was completely stunned. According to the insider, Hye Kyo was in the middle of a photo shoot when her phone started buzzing like crazy. At first, she thought it was just her team updating her about work, but then she saw the messages and videos flooding in. Her reaction? She allegedly stopped everything, sat down, and just stared at her phone for a few minutes without saying a word. Can you picture that? The woman who has always been so composed suddenly speechless because of a confession that has the whole world talking. Lovely viewers, what do you think was going through her mind at that moment? Was it shock? Was it a flood of old memories? Or maybe, was it a spark of something she thought had faded? Fans believe this confession has the power to reopen a chapter everyone thought was closed for good. And honestly, seeing how emotional Joong Ki looked, it's hard not to wonder if this is a sign of unfinished business between them. Now let's rewind for a second and remember their history. These two weren't just a random celebrity couple. They were a power duo. From descendants of the sun to their real-life wedding, they were the definition of a fairy tale love story. Fans all over the world adored them, and their breakup broke hearts everywhere. But this confession, it feels like destiny knocking again, doesn't it? It feels like Joong Ki is saying what he's been holding inside for years. And here's where it gets even more dramatic. People are speculating that this wasn't just a spontaneous confession. Some insiders believe he's been planning to say this for a while, that he's been dropping hints in interviews, in social media posts, even in the way he chooses certain words during public appearances. Did you notice that last month he posted a picture with the caption, "Some feelings never fade"? At the time, fans thought it was just poetic, but now, it all makes sense. Lovely viewers, can you imagine the pressure Hye Kyo must be feeling right now? She's currently living her best life, focused on her career, making headlines for her incredible performances and stunning beauty. But deep down, hearing those words from someone who once meant everything, what does that do to a person's heart? And to make it even juicier, people who were at the fan meeting swear Joong Ki didn't just stop with those words. After the event, when asked if he was talking about someone specific, he simply smiled and said, "If you know, you know." That's basically confirmation without confirmation. Classic K-drama energy, right? The comment section on every platform is a battlefield right now. Some fans are rooting for a reunion, saying things like, "True love always finds its way back," and "Please get back together, you two are soulmates." Others, however, are warning Joong Ki to move on, reminding him that life has changed and both have gone separate ways. But can love like theirs ever really fade? That's the question on everyone's mind. And you know what's even wilder? There's a rumor going around that Joong might make an even bigger gesture soon. Some believe he's planning a song release, and that it's going to be about her. Imagine a heartfelt ballad with lyrics that reflect everything he's feeling right now. If that happens, the internet will completely break. And if Hye Kyo responds in any way, whether with a like, a comment, or even a subtle Instagram story, the world will literally lose its mind. Lovely viewers, let's be real. This isn't just news. This is history in the making. A confession like this years after a breakup takes courage, takes vulnerability, and it shows that some connections are so deep they survive time, distance, and even heartbreak. So what do you think? Should Hye Kyo respond? Should she stay silent? Or should she surprise us all with a reunion that would make headlines for decades? Before you answer, just imagine this. The two of them meeting again, face to face after all this time. The tension, the emotions, the unspoken words. It would be like watching the most beautiful scene from a drama, except it's real life. And guess what? We'll be here together, breaking it all down, every single detail, because I know you don't want to miss a second of this. So, lovely viewers, tell me, if you were in Hye Kyo's shoes, what would you do? Would you reach out? Would you stay silent? Or would you give love a second chance? Drop your thoughts in the comments because this conversation is just getting started. And trust me, if there's one thing we've learned from this shocking confession, it's that love, true love, never really goes away. Let's dive even deeper into this emotional storm because the story is far from over. After Song Joong-ki's shocking confession, the ripple effect it created is growing bigger and louder every single day. If you thought the last update was intense, wait until you hear what's happening now because this drama is writing itself in real time. And you're here with me to experience every second of it. Right after the confession went viral, something unexpected happened that nobody saw coming. Song Joong-ki disappeared from social media. Yes, you heard that right. No posts, no stories, nothing. Fans went into panic mode thinking, did he regret saying it? Was he pressured to stay quiet? But then another theory popped up, and this one is giving everyone goosebumps. Many believe he's staying silent because he's planning something huge, something personal, something that will speak louder than any Instagram post ever could. And knowing Joong-ki's style, he doesn't do anything halfway. When he loves big. And this feels like the calm before an emotional storm. But what about Song Hye Kyo? Lovely viewers, let me tell you, she has been the queen of silence through all of this. Her recent updates are driving fans insane because they are loaded with mystery. Just a day after the confession broke, she posted a black and white photo of a cup of coffee with the caption, "Some mornings feel heavier than others." Now, tell me, doesn't that sound like someone who's deep in thought? Someone who's processing something emotional? Fans flooded the comment section with messages like, "Is this about Joong-ki? And please don't ignore your heart." Even international media outlets are picking up on these subtle hints, and headlines everywhere are screaming, Song Hye Kyo responds to Joong-ki confession in cryptic post. And now for the twist that has everyone holding their breath. Rumors are flying that Joong-ki recently turned down a major project because he wanted time for personal matters. You know what that means, right? People are convinced he's prioritizing his heart over his career, something he has never done before. This is not a man playing games. This is a man on a mission to fight for the love of his life. Lovely viewers, if you think this is intense, let me share what fans are doing to keep this fire alive. There's now an entire movement on social media called #GiveLoveASecondChance, and it's trending worldwide. Fans are posting throwback photos of the couple, writing emotional letters, and even tagging both of them saying, "Please, for us, for love, for destiny." Some of these posts will bring tears to your eyes. One fan wrote, "When you said, 'I can't stop loving you,' you spoke for all of us who believe that true love never dies." Doesn't that just hit you right in the heart? But let's pause for a moment and think, what if this confession wasn't just an emotional slip during a fan meeting? What if Joong-ki has been carrying this weight for years and finally decided to let the world know because he couldn't hold it in anymore? Imagine the courage it took for him to say those words publicly, knowing how the media would react, knowing the endless speculation it would cause. That's not just love, that's vulnerability, and it's rare in a world where celebrities are so guarded. Now, lovely viewers, let's talk about what could happen next, because this story is practically writing its own sequel. Imagine this, Song Hye Kyo, after days of silence, finally posts something that changes everything. Maybe it's a simple heart emoji. Maybe it's a line from a song they both loved. Or maybe, just maybe, it's a photo of a place that holds memories of their time together. Can you imagine the internet when that happens? The servers would probably crash from the traffic. And here's something even wilder. Some insiders believe Joong might show up at an upcoming fashion event where Hye Kyo is scheduled to appear. Yes, that's the rumor. If that happens, and the two of them are seen in the same frame after all these years, the entire entertainment world will stop. Every camera will be on them, every heartbeat will be racing, and the headlines will explode. Joong and Hye Kyo face to face after his confession. Can you picture that moment? The tension, the unspoken words, the longing glances. It would feel like watching the climax of the most beautiful K-drama ever written. Lovely viewers, this isn't just gossip anymore. This is a real-life love story that's unfolding right before our eyes, and whether it ends in reconciliation or not, one thing is certain. Joong's words, "I can't stop loving you," will echo forever in the hearts of fans who believed in their love from day one. Now let me ask you this. If fate gave them a second chance, should they take it? Should Joong fight harder? Should Hye Kyo open her heart again? Or is it better to leave the past where it belongs? Drop your thoughts below, because this conversation is just getting started. Imagine this. Our discussion just ended with the biggest question. What would you do if you were in Song Hye Kyo's shoes? And now, let's go deeper, because the story doesn't end here. In fact, this is just the beginning of an emotional roller coaster that is leaving fans, the media, and even other celebrities buzzing with speculation. The internet is like a live drama right now, and you're right here with me to experience every twist and turn. After Joong's confession spread like wildfire, the world hasn't stopped talking. People are literally camping on Hye Kyo's social media, refreshing every second to see if she's going to make a move. And let me tell you, the tension is real. Every post she makes is being dissected like a secret message. Last night, she uploaded a picture of a sunset with the caption, "Some endings bring new beginnings." Lovely viewers, that single line sent the entire fandom into chaos. Was she talking about life in general? Or was that a subtle response to Joong's emotional confession? The comment section turned into a battlefield within minutes. Half the fans saying it's a soft no, while others are convinced it's a cryptic maybe. And that's not all. Let's talk about what's happening behind the scenes. Industry insiders are whispering that Joong has been reaching out to mutual friends, asking how Hye Kyo has been doing lately. That's not just curiosity. That's someone who's still deeply invested. Can you imagine him, sitting in his car after a long day, scrolling through old photos, replaying memories of their happiest times? It's heartbreaking and romantic at the same time. And for those who think this is just for publicity, let me remind you, Joong is not the type to make such a vulnerable confession just for attention. This man meant every single word. Lovely viewers, here's where it gets even more dramatic. Reports are circulating that Joong might actually plan a private meeting with Hye Kyo soon. According to a close source, he wants to talk to her face to face, away from cameras, away from the noise, just the two of them. If that happens, oh my goodness, that's going to be the moment the world stops breathing. Can you picture that scene? A quiet cafe or maybe a cozy restaurant. Him walking in first, nervous but determined, and then her, graceful as always, stepping inside, eyes meeting for the first time in what feels like forever. The silence, the emotions, the memories. It would feel like the final episode of the most iconic drama ever, but this time it's real life. And fans are not the only ones talking. Fellow celebrities have started to weigh in too. Some actors who worked with both of them have liked posts about this confession. Others are dropping cryptic emojis on fan pages. It's like everyone knows something we don't. And that just makes this entire situation even more intriguing. What if they've been quietly in touch all this time and this confession was his way of saying, "I'm ready to try again"? Wouldn't that be the biggest plot twist ever? But here's the million-dollar question. How does Hye Kyo really feel about all this? From what sources say, she's shocked but not angry. That's important, lovely viewers. If she were upset, we'd see some clear signs, unfollowing public statements, distancing moves. But so far nothing like that. In fact, she's remained calm, graceful, and dare I say, a little reflective. People close to her claim that this confession brought back a lot of memories, and while she's focused on her work, she can't just ignore what was once the most significant relationship of her life. Now let's talk about us, the fans. We are living through history, witnessing a love story that refuses to fade away. And honestly, that gives hope to so many people who believe that true love always finds its way back. Social media is filled with fan-made edits of Joong and Hye Kyo together, their wedding clips, their happiest moments, all set to emotional songs. And every time a new edit drops, it goes viral within minutes. That just shows how much the world still loves and believes in them. Lovely viewers, imagine if Joong takes this even further. There are strong whispers that he's planning to dedicate a public gesture. Maybe a heartfelt song, maybe a letter, maybe even a surprise appearance on a show where Hye Kyo is scheduled to be. If that happens, it's going to break the internet. But will it melt her heart? That's the question we're all waiting to see answered. And before I wrap this continuation, let me paint a picture for you. Imagine the day we wake up to headlines that say, Song Joong and Song Hye Kyo spotted together after years apart. Can you feel the chills? The videos, the photos, the smiles, the awkward laughter. And then the interviews where they both talk about giving love a second chance. Lovely viewers, would you cry? 'Cause I know I would.